June 1944, somewhere in the hedgerows of Normandy, American tank crews stared at a battlefield that seemed impossible to crack. The German Panther, sleek, deadly, armored like a rolling fortress, was tearing through Allied lines with brutal precision. And for weeks, every Sherman crew knew the same cold truth. Their shells bounced off the Panther's sloped armor like raindrops on steel. But then, a rumor began to spread. A whisper passed from tank to tank like a secret miracle. A new round. A silver-banded shell. A shot that could finally kill the Panther. At first, no one believed it. Not after seeing friends fire 5, 6, 7 rounds at a single German tank and still die under its 75mm cannon. But on a fog-soaked morning, Staff Sergeant William Carter watched a supply truck arrive carrying wooden crates marked simply, HVAP, high-velocity armor-piercing. Inside each crate was a single shell with a strange metallic band around its casing, heavier than anything they had fired before. And painted across the top in stenciled black ink were 4 chilling words: ration each shot carefully. The narrator's voice tightens with suspense, pulling the viewer deeper, because only a handful of these shells existed in the entire theater. And every crew knew that firing one meant betting everything, life, death, and the survival of their entire battalion on a single pull of the trigger. That night, Carter held the silver-banded round in his hands, feeling the cold weight of America's newest secret. It wasn't just a shell. It was hope. It was revenge. It was the answer to months of helplessness. And when a Panther emerged, at dawn, its silhouette cutting through the rising mist, every man in the Sherman felt his heartbeat, synchronized with the whirring of the turret. Because this time, for the first time, they had something that might punch through the monster. The tank commander whispered, "Load HVAP," and as the breech slammed shut, Carter knew that if this didn't work, they were finished. The Panther sat motionless near the edge of the village, its barrel glinting faintly under the overcast sky, waiting like a hunter in the brush. Sergeant Carter's heart slammed in his chest. The Sherman's engine rumbled low, crawling forward foot by foot, knowing they had maybe one clean shot and no second chances. The crew was silent, each man holding his breath, waiting for the call. Through the sight, Carter locked eyes with the beast. He could feel its weight, its menace, even from 800 yards. The crosshairs met the lower glacis plate, the Panther's known weak point. He whispered, "Now." The gunner squeezed the trigger. A deafening roar followed. The HVAP shell screamed across the field, faster and harder than anything the Sherman had ever fired. And for a split second, the crew thought it had failed. Again, until a flash tore through the Panther's hull. Smoke burst from the seams, followed by fire. The impossible had happened. One shot, one kill. The silver-banded shell had worked. The Sherman's crew erupted in disbelief and awe. The word spread faster than any radio could carry: Panthers could be killed. But victory came at a cost. Each tank was only issued a handful of these shells. They were forged with rare tungsten, flown in from South America, and the U.S. couldn't make enough of them to meet battlefield demand. Commanders were instructed, only fire on visual confirmation. Never waste a shot. Tank crews began hiding their HVAP rounds in sandbags, under seats, behind rations, anything to protect their golden ticket to survival. Some soldiers even carved names into them. For Joe. This one's for Bastogne. These weren't just rounds, they were vengeance, justice, a final answer to German supremacy. And as the Allies pushed through France, the Germans began to notice something terrifying. Their invincible machines weren't invincible anymore. Panthers left smoldering on roadsides. Tigers burned through the turret. German crews, once feared, now hesitated. And all it took was one silver band around a shell to change the rules of war. Because in the end, the most powerful weapon wasn't a bigger gun. It was belief. Belief that this time, they could win.